like that, these are all areas that we work first. I will explain this to you in a simple diagram, hopefully that this makes sense. If you think about your head, right? So shoulder, head, butt, heel, okay? Most athletes are in interior pelvic tilt, meaning that their hips are driven forward like that. If you pretend that your hips are a bucket and there's water inside of them, most people are athletes, they're dipping forward, meaning that they're pouring water out of the bucket forward, right? So this is where, if you posterior, this would be neutral. Most athletes are in interior pelvic tilt. So their angle is here, okay? A lot of that is caused by tight hip flexors. A lot of that is caused by, people say that it's hamstrings. There's a lot of other issues associated why that's the case. When you run, right, this is going to be the angle of your knee. You won't be able to lift up and drive, right? That's the height. We understand that distance is going to create some power. So the further I bring my leg back or higher I bring my leg up, the more I'm able to put force into the ground, right? So if I could get my hip position to be level, or at least a little bit greater, I could then drive my knee from a higher position, which the amount of force I could produce from here to here is not as great as the force I'm able to produce from here to here into the ground. Does that make sense? So what we want to do when we do core training is we're trying to drive our hips up, activate this abdominal wall, driving this up, which will allow for a little bit more of a neutral pelvic position. And then we'll put our hips in a better position to drive our knees up higher, and we can create more force into the ground. That's why we do that before we start sprint work. The other thing is, it's also going to do what during this process? We're going to get one of our most important things in training completely out of the way. Because most athletes hate core training, so they're not going to do it with any conscious function at the end of the workout because they're just going to try to get it over with. And then the other thing is it's also going to increase your core temperature, which again is part of the process of your warm-up.